You know, I believe I like that. Yeah, I think that'll work. Old School is finally done. And like many of you, there were times along the way I thought I may never see that day. But here it is, and it is exactly the way I have imagined in my mind's eye for the last 4 years, since within 3 or 4 months of me buying the car. That's just exactly the look, the stance. It is exactly the car I have always imagined it was going to be. This is an 83 Olds Cutlass Cruiser. The first thing you'll notice is all the body trim has been peeled off the car. There are no side moldings, no belt line molding. I've taken the rocker guards off of it. There's no cowl molding, no hood molding. There's no hood ornament on it. I have stripped it down to nothing but body panel, and I really like how it makes the car look. And of course, the gray and the black, I really like that. I've blacked out all the window frames everywhere. Grill, bumpers, that's all blacked out. And of course, when you got the dark tint, it really gives the car a low, long look. And of course, the car has been dropped about 1.5 inches, which doesn't sound significant until you have an opportunity to park this car next to another G-body, or like last weekend, if you have a chance to park it next to another G-body wagon that has not been dropped, you'll see it's pretty significant and really makes the car look, well, the car is just significantly lower, plus the looks of it. I had considered at one time, well, for a moment, I considered putting those old Camaro SS stripes across the front here. Nixed that idea, and then right here at the belt line, I had considered really thin, maybe 1/8 inch maroon pinstripe. But the more I have the car, drive the car, look at the car, I like it just like it is. I think those wheels are all the jewelry it needs, and those wheels really set the car off. I just really like this thing. The back, just from all angles, I think the car looks dynamite. It looks exactly as I've imagined it was always going to look. Let's get inside here. I'll show you a couple of things. The dash has been completely redone. This is all maroon. That started as a GM tan. All of the rest of the plastic in the car was a coffee bean kind of color. Everything you see now that is brushed aluminum was that wood grain that happened so much in the 80s, which I've never really liked. Here's a neat little gizmo. On one of my salvage yard adventures one day, I ran across a car that had this clock in it, and that was an 84 or 85 Buick, I believe. Pulled it out of there, plugged it in, and the thing has been dead nuts on for months and months. Really happy to have that little gizmo in there. The car has gauges, which is kind of unusual for a station wagon. Instead of idiot, well, it still actually has idiot lights. Those are idiot lights. In addition, if you can't read your gauges, something will blink red for you. Tachometer, all that sort of stuff. I really like it. I am still waiting for my leather wheel that'll come in. Here's a neat little gizmo that wasn't available back in the day. Yes, sir. Rear glass popper. I like that. The seats in it, from a Chrysler Sebring convertible. I like them. Well, I like the color, and they're comfortable and all that sort of stuff. They have the higher headrest, but they eliminate that seat belt that on these G-bodies hangs from that B-pillar right there. If you have the windows down, it's just slapping around in the wind, making you nuts, while these have seat belts as an integral part of the seat. I really like that. You can see that the upper door panels I still have to do, and I need to design and build a console in here. I actually cut one out of cardboard a few months ago, put it in here, and it came out way too wide after the Sebring seats are put in, and I've tossed it. I wish I would have kept it because it did fit on that tunnel really well, and now I'm going to have to rejigger all that. The upper door panels here are going to have to be done as well. That's the maroon. You get it. Well, let's get a better look here. Come on. There we go. This is the maroon interior. Much nicer than that coffee bean color that was in here. I usually drive it like this with the back seats folded down. There's just me, and it's rare that I put those seats up. I really like that. Well, let's get under the hood here. I just got this thing on the road, well, last Thursday evening, late in the evening, about 4 o'clock in the evening, I got it on the road. Friday morning, drove to Lake Wales, picked up some friends in a caravan, going to High Springs, then back down to Ocala for a car show over the weekend. 95% of that driving was highway miles, and more than half of that was with the air conditioner on. This thing got 20.5 miles to the gallon, and 80 miles an hour happened at 2,300 RPM. Could not be any more happy with that. This engine is a fuel injected 350, which of course these cars didn't come like that. Also behind it is a 700 4R automatic overdrive transmission. These cars didn't come with that either. But it's in there and it's awesome. The car drove, it feels awesome. Of course, the entire suspension, front and back, front from the cotter pin to the pitman arm, every bit of that's done. That is an F41 suspension that I got out of, I believe I got that out of a Regal. I can't really remember, but has the big 1 1/4 front sway bar, the Jounce bars, all the stiffeners up there, all the bushings, ball joints, everything in the suspension has been redone front and back, and it really pays off when you're going down the road. It really smooth, acts really nice. And the car is quiet. Let me tell you, that right up in there, the headliner, when I put all that 1/2 inch insulation through there between the ceiling and the roof. That has paid off. Yesterday and today have been hot days, and I've made a point to park this thing in the sun, get back in the car and reach that headliner, and it is icy. That, and of course driving, it's just quiet. I had that half-inch insulation underneath the jute that came on the carpet as well. You see right there, well, of course you can see I've dropped the dome light and I've replaced it with these little LEDs. I had 4 of them in there and then 2 in the footwell. They light it up like mid-afternoon in here. I may be dropping 2 of those, it's so bright. But I just like the way it makes that headliner clean. And if you look up there, you can see I also have sun visors to do. So there are a couple little things left to do on the car, but generally, for all intent and purpose, this car is finished. It drives great. It looks great. Everything operates flawlessly. I couldn't be any more happy with the car than I am. This was just simply a job well done. I'm well pleased. I'm going to like this car for a long time. Everything about it is just smooth and slick. I like this car.